You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
All right, people, what's up?
Episode 79.
And we hope you're having a happy Halloween because it is Halloween, October 31st, this Tuesday of another episode of the Zod and Drea podcast.
How's that song go from,
one more day till Halloween, 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 one more day till Halloween,
Silver Shamrock.
Yep. All right.
That's
so
a little
of course,
flashback for you guys.
Yeah, in case you don't know, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, that's Drea's favorite movie right now.
I'm all about it right now.
All right. So, of course, while the pumpkins are burning that we still haven't bought and the serial killers are out there behind the shadows while your children are going out knocking on doors getting some candy.
No.
Yeah. It's funny because I wrote in the write-up, I'm like, tonight's the night where children go knocking on strangers' doors asking them for candy, and I wish that some of the adults had that much balls for voter registration,
Right, knocking on the doors.
Knock on the doors and be like, yo, here's a registration in my hand. Come and sign up.
Right. Oh, so much. So what are we talking about today?
All right, so of course we're going to be talking about in the entertainment section, your boy Kevin Spacey has come out. It's one thing to have, contrition and be able to, say, I've done wrong and things like that. But especially something that's been as old as this. This is over 30 years old where he was accused of allegations of child molestation. But it's the way that he went about doing some other things at the exact same time that kind of messed up the moment and messed up his apology and just messed up everything all over the place.
Pretty
so we're going
much
to
his
discuss
career.
a little bit of that. Yeah, so his career is going to probably have a little bit of a bumpy road over the next couple years. So we're going to talk about Kevin Spacey and, of course, in politics, the Mueller investigation.
So we're going to, just so much has happened within the past less than 24 hours. So we're just going to just give some updates, give our little point of view about things, and just kind of recap this mess.
Yeah, so recap the whole thing that's been going on with this. And obviously, if you haven't even looked at the news cycle, well, it depends if you're conservative or liberal, which news sources that you've been seeing. There is actually an investigation on collusion for Russia during the last year's, election. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, what's the last one? Our main topic.
Are some of your favorite Halloween memories?
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about that so that we have a nice, fun episode on this Halloween with all the spooky candy and spooky noises and spiderwebs.
Spiderwebs, do they make noise?
Spiderwebs, they do. They go in the wind. They go in the wind.
In the wind. They're rustling in the wind.
Suburbs.
No, we don't do that.
All right, so of course we've got. Let's talk about your boy Kevin Spacey.
Look, first of all, he's not my boy anymore. I thought he's a great actor. Okay.
I mean, he is
great actor.
Even though you stole that from Denzel Washington and Hurricane for your little American Beauty movie, I'm not saying anything, but go ahead.
You're not holding any grudges or anything.
No.
Yeah. Well, so it turns out, what was it, this morning, actually? I mean, so much has happened in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
So an actor...
Yesterday morning.
Was it yesterday morning?
It's Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Tuesday. Uh-huh. So yesterday morning, it was an actor who's in his mid-30s right now. What he stated was that when he was 14 years old, he was around Kevin Spacey at some party, right? Some atmosphere.
I don't think he's in his 30s now, because it was 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So he's probably in his 40s.
I got my math
His name
wrong.
is Anthony Rapp.
And so I got my math wrong. But so what Anthony's claiming is that when he was 14 years old, Kevin Spacey, what was it like? He lied down?
Yeah, apparently, I guess this kid was at a
On
party.
him.
He was at one of these crazy Hollywood parties.
Which why a 14-year-old would be there is also in question. Like, why would you let your child go to those parties?
But apparently, River Phoenix and some of these other kids that,
Barrymore,
this is
Drew
what
Barrymore.
I mean, Corey Feldman, Haim. It's been said that Hollywood is really not the best place for a child to be, especially alone. But anyway, this rap kid was over at a party, and 14 years old hanging out. Kevin Spacey was there. I think they were shooting a movie or something. I think there was a movie, something that was going on. But I know he was laying on Spacey's bed or something, I guess, to rest. And then Spacey came in and laid on top of him, making sexual advances. Now, this, Spacey was 30 years older than him at the time. So, it's like, come on, I think this was in 86 or something. I forgot what it was. I think it was the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I'm like, geez, and like now I think of him, how old's Kevin Spacey?
Is he like in his 60s?
Yeah, I guess he is in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But he made this. So anyway, the rap kid, the rap dude had said that, he brought it out that this is what had happened. And, fine, with the Me Too, the hashtag Me Too that's been coming out, and everybody, pretty much saying, with Weinstein and Trump grabbing people, it's been coming out where people are like, you know what, I've been abused, and this isn't cool, and I'm going to tell you when, despite who it was. And this is a really great opportunity for people to be able to apologize, So, the rap dude, I can't call him the rap dude.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey was 26 at the time.
He was 26. Okay, so he was 26 and the kid was 14.
According to CNN, so we just wanted to check that for you guys.
Yeah, okay, double check that. And it was Kevin's apology because he apologized for something that he said he was probably like in a drunken stupor for, but he didn't remember it. But it was weird because do you have it up? On his Twitter account, he had...
I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior, and I am sorry for the feelings he describes having carried with him all these years.
Which would have been, okay, fine, I'm sorry, whatever, maybe... I don't know if he has to see anybody. It was 30 years ago, so what is someone supposed to do?
Then he states, this story has encouraged me to address other things about my life.
And this is the other thing that he merged with in the same apology. So go ahead and continue.
So, he says in his tweet, he continued that he had relationships with both men and women, and added, I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I choose now to live as a gay man.
So you don't apologize, if we don't have to say anything, you don't apologize for behavior that you did towards a child in the same breath that you come out as a gay man. And what's funny is he's kind of choosing. He's like, I've been having dealings with, as you know, I've been dealing with men and women, and I guess I'm going to just live life right now as a gay man. It almost sounds temporary.
Right, like, well, this is what's going to happen right now. Like, no. You don't get to do that.
The LGBT community has already been seen as being perverts, and this is the reason why you're gay, because of this. And he conflated both issues. He combined them both, and this is what the big issue is. That now he has put a spotlight on gay people in another negative light, setting them back.
That's exactly it. It set them back. So thanks a lot, Kevin Spacey. You couldn't have manned up and just say, yeah, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I did this and I hurt this person.
And then at that point, just pretty much, do your confession later.
Right, shut your mouth.
Do that shit in another 5 years or something. But whatever. Kevin, good luck with whatever happens.
Good luck with that.
Whatever happens next.
Good luck with that.
We're going to have Robert Mueller go and investigate you. So,
and he'll find all the dirt.
He'll find all the dirt. So in case you don't know, we're going to talk about Mueller now. Robert Mueller is the FBI. He's the one that replaced Comey. After Trump, I don't know if you remember, President Trump had fired James Comey because of, he says it was because, all the dirt he did to Hillary Clinton before the election, which was stupid. No, dude. It was because he was investigating you over Russian collusion. So...
Tracking the money.
So he fired him, but the thing is, Comey kept really good notes. And so then when Robert Mueller took over, this guy is a no-jokes dude. Like, this guy is like, look, I don't care about all that. I'm just going to do my job. Which some say is driving Trump nuts right now.
Right, because and then his advisors, from this is what we've read from CNN, Guardian. So this
CNN, that's fake news.
Right, but this is just not our opinion, right? And so just so you know, we're getting some of our facts from is that the administration advisors are advising the president, do not even talk about firing Mueller. Don't even,
because we're talking about a guy who will pardon his friend Arpaio for supporting it in a minute. So this guy is already capable of freeing convicts that like him. It won't matter. He will free just because he has the power to. So imagine somebody he doesn't like. Imagine he wants to do all that apprentice crap and start firing people. If you fire a second person who's investigating you, man, so they have to convince him.
Right. His team is having to tell him, do not even bring him up in a tweet. Don't even mention his name because they know of the backlash that'll happen. And then you have, of course, the Bannon and all of his media groups actually promoting the firing of Mueller and saying that, no, you don't be so soft on him. So, and why even Bannon's even part of this conversation still disgusts me. I don't even...
Like, he's done. I don't know why people are building him up way more than they need to.
So talk about then, everyone, all the three parties then that were brought up today.
So the three parties were Rick Gates, and of course Paul Manafort, and those were the two that people expected to actually come up. Like Trump apparently expected, but what caught him off guard was George Papadopoulos.
I like that last
George
name.
Papadopoulos. So George Papadopoulos is the guy who was sitting at, I think it was a council, a foreign affairs council on Trump. Trump tried, Sarah Sanders yesterday morning tried to jump down the throats of the reporters who asked about it, say, oh no, as she always does, her one rule is to protect the president at absolute every cost, so she will lie. The woman has lied ever since she took over the mantle from Sean Spicer, and she has lied to defend him. So the two people they expected. Now, I'm going to try and take a second to try and read off what the indictment says off of the two that they expected, which is Paul Manafort.
I love how this is public information.
It is. So it says the defendants Paul Manafort and Richard Gates served for years as political consultants and lobbyists. Between at least 2006 and 2015, Manafort and Gates acted as unregistered agents of the government of Ukraine, the Party of Regions, a Ukrainian political party whose leader Viktor Yanukovych was president from 2010 to 2014. Yanukovych and the opposition bloc, a successor of the Party of the Regions that formed in 2014 when he fled Russia. Manafort and Gates generated tens of millions of dollars in income as a result of their Ukraine work in order to hide Ukraine payments from United States authorities from approximately 2006 through at least 2016. Now, in 2016, that's when they were working for Trump. So we don't know what's going on, but it's the fact that right now they have been lying. We don't know what the connection is, if there is one, to Trump at this moment. But the fact that Trump did not vet these people about collusion, and yet he was sitting there putting things together, hoping that, Russia was investigating Hillary and all this other stuff, this is where it gets sticky. What they didn't expect was for George Papadopoulos to get dinged. And the fact that he is supposedly, according to CNN, pissed off right now because he's talking. The dude pleaded guilty. Papadopoulos pleaded guilty
in July.
He's cooperating now with the authorities. So who knows what's about to happen? All I know is that the right-wing media ignored this story.
Shit's about to go down.
About to go down. And we're about to go to a commercial. But, man,
Please
check it out.
Please listen
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Zod.
And I'm Drea.
And we want you to check out the Zod and Drea podcast every Tuesday.
Where can everybody find us at?
You can always check us out on www.zodandrea.com.
Where else?
You can always check us out also on Facebook at Zod and Drea.
Instagram?
Zod and Drea.
Snapchat?
Zod and Drea.
YouTube?
Zod and Drea.
I see a pattern.
So if you haven't caught that, catch us at Zod and Drea on all the social networks. But also, make sure you subscribe to the Zod and Drea podcast. Where?
At zodandrea.com.
And also on YouTube and iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. We're coming for you.
Let us know what you think. And if you want to be a guest, reach out to us.
And put all of your input into whatever our topics are for the week. So we hope to check you out and see you there.
Bye. Now we're talking about some of the fun memories about Halloween, and we're about to share some of our experiences and really dive into some of the...
What are you laughing at?
Because it was so much fun. Like, I just love this topic. Like, we're going to have a good time talking about Halloween. And, you guys get to peek a little into our world and our childhood. So, what was did you ever do a lot of trick-or-treating in your neighborhood?
Well, I mean, I grew up in the suburbs, so I mean, we had the best layout. Like, it was the old school in the 70s, where you would dress up in your traditional plastic friggin'... All right, so here was the whole scene. Here's what you got to understand. When you're 6 years old, 5 years old, whatever, and you're going trick-or-treating, first of all, you are Batman. My brother was Superman. And it was, if anybody back then remembers, these were, first of all, it was like probably like 30 degrees out, number one. So you're wearing sweaters and jeans, and then they had this big plastic. It was plastic, like print. It was this big flat plastic with a Batman print.
It was practically like a garbage bag.
It was, and it had and you had your plastic Batman mask, and this wasn't the cool Batman, that started up in '89 with Michael Keaton. No, this was like still the friggin' Batman, either from the comic book or like not Burt Ward, but the dude who died.
Yeah, the light blue.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. Anyway, so it was nothing but like, although it was freezing outside and you're going trick or treat, your hands are freezing going trick or treat, but you're getting all that candy because we grew up in the suburb. I mean, we're talking where houses, it's not like over here in Arizona where the houses are like 10 feet away from each other. Like, you had yard and property, you had to cross over, and you had a bunch of neighborhoods like that. By the time you hit like door number 4, you're not just tired, but you're sweating. Like, your face is against that plastic mask. And it was the plastic mask that had the string around it. So all it did was cover your front of your face.
Right.
You remember it was hard plastic, and it had the little slit in the mouth and the little...
If you were lucky to have it aligned perfectly, because if you still were in that growing stage and your face didn't fit the mask, you're screwed.
It was, and all you did was breathe back on the plastic, so your face got sweaty, and it was terrible. Like, Halloween, the only reason you did it was so you could knock on doors. People didn't know who you were, and if they did, you lifted up your mask. Hey, it's me, Brent. But you just wanted your candy. It was a lot of fun going with, of course, I remember my earliest memories is going with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first outfit that I remember ever wearing was I was a clown. God, we had to be little. I had to be really little. Because I remember I hated the fact that my mom took her lipstick and put it on my face. For the clown makeup. I remember hating that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's a woman stuff. But, she had to paint my nose and my mouth and all that, whatever. I remember being like a little clown. I wish I had pictures back then. Who knows? Maybe she does it somewhere. But, that's the one big memory. And it was going to a party, like a get-together. And, of course, being from the suburbs, and anybody who knows, you go to... man, I wish I can remember the name of it. There was a specific name of it, but you would either go apple picking, or you go pumpkin picking, and you'd go to this pumpkin patch. It was like a pumpkin patch where it was like a trail ride, and you get on the back of the wagon and stuff like that. And it was a hay ride, but I can't remember where it was in New Jersey. But that was also a lot of fun, and something that everybody in the town always did around Halloween. What about you?
Cool.
All right, come on.
Well,
what about
growing
you?
up in Phoenix, like, it was hot. Okay, so you're already talking about sweating behind the mask. Like, imagine that 10 times more, because it was always hot here, right?
True.
So what I always remember, my first memory of Halloween out here was I was, of all characters, my mom dressed me as a clown, and I don't like clowns, right?
Oh, so you were a clown too?
I was a clown. I was cute.
Because it was easy.
Yeah, I was super cute.
Lazy parent.
And then we got to go trick-or-treating around our neighborhood, and then my grandma Isabel at the time lived in our neighborhood, so I remember we had to cross this really busy street to go to her neighborhood, where our neighborhood was. It's only like maybe 10 minutes walking, but the neighbors like really got involved, and we would get like the big we didn't have like the little fancy baskets that they have now, or custom made.
Hell no.
We had
no, you had pillowcases.
Yeah, the pillowcases, which were super cool because you could carry lots of
lot
stuff
more.
and then schlep it over your shoulder, so this way you could carry. That was so cool to me. And then as we got older, we had 2 different ways of celebrating Halloween. Now, my Tia Mary and my Tio Bobby, they always would have haunted houses. Their 2 boys were big horror movie fans. They were, like my cousin Jason, loved Friday the 13th. Shout out to Jason.
Like, who doesn't?
And he loved all the horror movie stuff. So when his parents, who were very artsy and crafty too at the time, they would create this huge haunted house in their neighborhood, and all the kids would come around. They had the smoke, they had the chains, the sound effects. Like, it was so cool to walk through, and they just transformed their entire house. So it wasn't just the front yard that was a haunted house. You walked through their entire house, and it was like their own version of House of Horrors, Mexican style. It was so much fun. So I remember doing that. And then also sharing sometimes the holidays then with my mom's side of the family and going to my Tia Alma's house. My Tia Alma had just moved to this new suburb called Mesa, Arizona that we weren't familiar with. And this was the time when you would take the 10 east and there would be jackrabbits like just going east on the freeway, like off of the Mill exit and Rural exit. Like it was back then when it was still just a whole new suburb area building. So we would go to this neighborhood, brand new houses. Man, I would tear it up with the candy. So I had my little sister with me, and we would get the full size candies, right? Not like the little bite size stuff.
Back then you did get the full size because they didn't have the bite size really. I don't think.
They had like, your Smarties and your Tootsie Rolls and stuff.
No, they did have those, but
man,
no, in
Mesa,
the whole Snickers.
I got the Hershey bar, and my nosy ass would take an extra time trick or treating. So I would hold on to my sister because she was all cute and stuff. So that's how we get into the house, and then my nosy butt would walk in. Cross the threshold and talk to the homeowner, check out their house, and my parents would have to come and get me because I would be deep in the house just checking out everything being so nosy.
No, we were in and out. We were like, look, next house. We see over here now. Over there in Mesa, did they have houses that were closer to each other?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
See, we couldn't be checking out houses, man. No, see, in the time span that you would take in 10 minutes is what we would take in about a half hour. Because we had so much more distance, so we didn't have, and the parents are like, if it gets too dark, and you don't want to be that last person, everybody, lights are out, they're ready to go to bed, and you're like, ding dong.
There's like nothing
it's
left.
It's 10 o'clock, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, we're over, done, Halloween's done. So we would always do that. They're always old, and even now here, I always see it. You got the older kids, like the older teenagers who want to show up, and I'm like, man, you ever see people like teenagers that show up? I'm like, when I had the house, when I had my house down in South Mountain, and I would love to dress up. This is only a few years ago, people. Like, I still have it. That, in fact, you see it right there. It's probably in the closet right there. There's a bag over there. It's got my pumpkin mask in it. I love that friggin' mask because it scares people every time. That with the chain around my neck and the machete in my hand. I'm like, it's Halloween, and people are still scared. Like,
it's scary. Like, you did that last year.
Yeah, I think I might have. I love that thing. That's my favorite costume because it works every time. I don't have to deviate. I don't have to do anything. I just have to be sitting there. It's like, well, how would I look? Or what would I be scared of if I was? And it's like, it's Halloween. I've seen people, full grown ass adults like, yeah, we're not going over there. Until I have to wave them over like, yo, I'm just a dude with candy just bugging out. But the Halloween memories that we had growing up, I think it's probably, I wonder how it is the way that we grew up, because we had those crazy masks. Nowadays, they have some really good masks. They have really good, they have great makeup in it. Like, we didn't have all that. We didn't have all that stuff now. We didn't have Party City.
Like prosthetics?
Yeah, prosthetic. We didn't have that. We didn't have, we had to go to Rockaway Mall. And it better be open because if you closed out, you had to have whatever was left. That's why we had plastic Batman and plastic Superman.
I think our go-to favorite costume place is Bert Easley's, which is still here in Phoenix.
Is still here.
7th Avenue, or there's 7th Avenue and McDowell. And that place,
right,
anything you'd ever imagine that you'd want to be is there for you. And it's always been the coolest place to go. So props to them.
Yeah, and the theater community likes to go to Easley's too. They have everything year round. It's not just Party City that pops up in, late September.
Or what's that other stuff that pops up in like the strip malls?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Spirit, that's what it's called.
Oh, Spirit, yeah. They just make their money and run. And I don't blame them. But you can always go to Amazon. We didn't have, we just didn't. If you wanted something, you'd be at the back of a magazine. You better order. You're going to take 4 to 6 weeks for it to get there. Like, that was it. If you didn't, too bad, man. So I remember, I remember one. This is when we were later on. We were dressed as ninjas. I forgot. Bill Creamer had a ninja outfit. I think his was white. Mine was black, and so was Scott. Scott had a nice little ninja outfit. These were the ones because it reminded me when I said the back of the magazine. And, back then, Shokasugi, American Ninja, Ninja 3 Domination.
Oh, my God.
Enter the Ninja. What was it? Not the Octagon, because that was what's his name. But some of those other movies with Shokasugi. Those, we were ninjas. Let's just say, everybody in the early 80s, I was a ninja. I was a legitimate ninja. Okay? So we dressed like that for Halloween. Now me, I just had sneakers and stuff. Bill Creamer had the entire outfit. And he had the shoes, he had the shurikens and all that. I had a couple Chinese stars, but I was nice with him too. But we didn't take that out. But we were able to. I mean, back then also you can take like a weapon. I remember one time, man, I remember Allison Galdieri used to live on this one road. No, that wasn't too far to our school. And her mom was out. We loved her mom. Everybody who knew her loved her mom. And we love Allison too. Shout out to Allison Galdieri and her mom. I think her mom is rest in peace. But she was sitting outside. And I was dressed as Jason. I had a mask on. And I had an outfit. It was like a jogger's outfit. Mm-hmm. It kind of messed it up a little bit. And I had my mom's kitchen knife. And it was Halloween, and I was all scary. I remember her standing up, because she was outside, like, putting up, I think, some Halloween. She was about to run inside. I'm like, no, Mrs. Galdieri's, it was so funny, because, here I am. I know I was short, because it was years ago, I was still probably, like, early teens or something, maybe even younger than that. But, it was the fun of it. It was the fun of being scared and watching horror movies and, Halloween, Friday the 13th, there's certain classics that people are just not going to lose. Now, I guess it's Saw, because that Saw would come out every Halloween.
Right.
So,
we had the tradition, too, of, like, after we would come back home and go through all our candy, like, my parents knew, like, we were so hyped up from the candy, then we would watch movies, and for us, it was Young Frankenstein. That is, like, for me, that is Halloween. Ain't nothing more funny than Young Frankenstein. I gotta watch it. So that and some, like, old school, like, Vincent Price, The Raven. I love those old movies, and that's what we would watch then, just, for the little creepy spooks. And then once in a while, we would watch, like, Carrie.
Yeah, see, Carrie's dope. Carrie's good for Halloween. You got to go with the classics, like, no matter what. That's what you got to go with, okay? There's no substitute, all right? I'm going to just talk over this for a minute. So...
No, we got our favorite memories.
No, this is the best.
No.
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein.
Of course, we like to watch this. This is a shout out to my brother Scott too, and my man Bill Kelly, because this is what we would get into.
Mm-hmm.
This is our tradition where no matter what, and this is why this is Halloween, 1978. Oh man, I feel like I'm talking over there.
Oh my God!
People would want to come out and see the Halloweens that people would want to do, all the frights and the scares, all the people. Like this was so. I want.
It sounds like you should be at a drive-in right now.
I'm telling you, we should. It's like this was the fun time, just watching the movies, going out. And the funny thing is, here we are in our 40s. Doing our podcast tomorrow, it's Halloween, and we still don't even have a pumpkin.
We don't have a pumpkin. I know.
We have no, and I mentioned it, and you blew me off.
What?
Yes.
When?
I said, we gotta get one.
Well, because last time we got a pumpkin, we carved it, and then it died the next day.
It died like 2 days later.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. We could have gotten one.
We should have gotten one.
See,
well, we still have maybe a little bit of time to get like a fake one.
Yeah, and then we'll have to paint on it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something stupid.
So we'll be hanging out like with some family and friends tomorrow.
How are we?
I'm at Thea Mary's house.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like we're still trying to keep
saying tomorrow. You forget when we record.
Oh yeah,
this.
Today. Thea Mary's today. We're going to Thea Mary's, so she won't be having the haunted house. But man, that neighborhood in Arcadia still rocks it for the Halloween trick or treaters. So it's like more fun watching all the kids coming around, and you get to spook them tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
tonight.
Tonight. Man, we gotta work in your time. It's Halloween today. It's October 31. All right.
So go get your spooks on. Go get some candy.
Yeah, so, report back also and let us know what you're going to be doing for Halloween or some of your stories. Hey, in case you didn't know, we also got a new phone number. And if you don't, I want to also know what type of horror movies you guys are going to be watching, okay? Because some of the time, like, that's what we did, I think it was a couple years ago when I had the house with Kristen. Like, all we did was just put on horror movies. That was it. Just, like, the kids came knocking. We were chilling. Had my little pumpkin outside. I think I cut it up as Michael Myers. But, we did that. And...
Oh, what's that? Is somebody behind me? Somebody behind me?
So, anyway, we got to end this session. But we just want to make sure that people have a good Halloween. Have a good time out trick-or-treating. Watch out for traffic.
Please be safe.
Yeah, be safe. Unfortunately, you got to be safe these days. And... but you can still have fun. It won't be like the 70s and the 80s,
We know everyone's got to rush home in
Yeah.
the evening tonight, but just be safe when you see the kids because you got the young kids coming out early.
Yeah, watch out for the people that come from other neighborhoods in their friggin' vans and drop their kids off just so they can snatch your candy out.
And don't come to the Diaz house if you're like 18 years
This
old
is
and
what I'm
trick-or-treating
talking about, like,
because my
stop
dad's
it.
got a bat
You
and he
know?
will greet you at the door with it. He ain't afraid.
Like, how old are you? Like, seriously? What, you need food?
No,
You
go get
know?
a job. You should be working tonight.
Come on, go trick-or-treat over at McDonald's.
In fact, give me some candy.
Please, whatever. Happy Halloween.
Bye.